Hey guys, welcome back to Revolution XRC and welcome to the first part of my Axial Wraith 1.9 build series that I'm trying to get ready before ProLine 2025. As you can see here, I have already removed all the body panels, which I've gone and painted. So while those panels are off, we are going to address the rest of the rig. So far right now, things that I have planned is probably replace these links. I do want to replace these plastic links. I do want to see if I could stretch this wheelbase to a 313 millimeter wheelbase instead of 305. I also want to switch the electronics. I don't want to use the brush system that comes with it, or the servo, or the transmission for that matter. My goal will be to use a smaller transmission with a Hobbywing Fusion SE and have that weight for the motor towards the front, and I will stick a stronger servo in here. So so far, electronic swap, link swap, and I am considering whether or not I want to stay with straight axles as well. There's a chance that I might decide to go to portal axles. I don't know which portal axles I have in mind yet, but I think I know one that will fit this pretty easily. And also the shocks. I do want to replace the shocks with element shocks. I like these shocks a lot, and they should perform much better than these stock SCX 10.2 shocks. Alright, so I think for the first part of the series, I am just going to do the transmission swap with the motor, ESC, and maybe the servo. So we'll just focus on the electronics in this first portion, and let's get right to it. Let's take this apart. Alright, so here's the skid and the axles and the transmission. Since I'm going to be swapping the transmission completely, let's go ahead and just remove the transmission from the equation. Alright, we have the skid and the axles. Alright, as you can see here, I will be using the Hobbywing Quick Run Fusion SE 1800 kV ESC motor combo. And here I have a Who Crawler nod transmission, or no overdrive transmission. So this one uses 48 pitch gears, so you need to use a 48 pitch pinion. But it's got no overdrive. It's really tiny. I mean, tiny. You can see how small it is compared to the stock transmission. And what I expect that to do is to kind of save some weight on this rig, and so I could put more front weight bias with the motor facing the front. And we'll need to use the adapter plate. You'll see that it's got two holes at the bottom of the transmission, and we're going to need to fit it to this 4-hole in the skid for the stock transmission, and it comes with an adapter plate that will allow us to do that. So we'll have the motor facing this way, and then it'll go like this, and that's how it'll go. Alright, here's my Fusion SE, and you're going to need a 48 pitch pinion, which I will use, and you'll want to attach it like so. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's see where I need that. Alright, perfect. So you'll want about 3 millimeters in from the tip of your motor shaft for that perfect mesh. So let's go ahead and take care of that. Okay, so I found two M3x10s. I'm going to try this out. And if this doesn't work, I'm going to go with M3x8s. Yep, looks like it's still too long. So let's go with M3x8s. Alright, M3x8s are perfect. Just gotta adjust the gear mesh. Don't know how I'm gonna wiggle it. My gear mesh is good. Let's make sure everything's tightened down so it doesn't move, and I am good to go as far as this goes. I think I used the wrong screws. I think the short screws are for this right here. So I'll just remove them one by one. I think I might have hit a gear or something, so let's see, we have some stock shorter ones. think these are shorter. Alright, what I am going to do is find another set of, I think these are M3x6 or M3x8 countersunk screws. So I'm going to find another set of those and be right back. Alright, I've decided to go with 4 M3x8 countersunk screws. And I think that will give us the best length. Probably would have been easier to do this without the axles swinging everything. Alright, the ESC motor is now attached to the skid. You can see where it sits. It's motor forward, so weight forward. There should be enough clearance, and the drive shaft should clear as well, I think. Let's take a look at that. If they don't, we're gonna have to, yeah, I mean, I'm gonna have to put it on the rig to see, but they'll probably clear. But I'm gonna change these to different drive shafts anyway, just because I'm going to extend the wheelbase. I'm not sure, well, I mean, I guess I could change this insert for a longer wheelbase, but I don't know if I want to use these wild bores. I might want to just use aftermarket drive shafts because they're usually skinnier, so you'll kind of have more room to work with. Alright, now I'm going to do this off camera, but I've already removed the ESC. The ESC is basically a plate right here that gets screwed onto the bottom of one of the sides of the skids. So I've removed those and I've taken out the entire plate. Now the wiring does go through here, and these are just little wiring retainers that were screwed over here. So you'll just need to remove those two to kind of free up this wire as well. And the receiver box, you need to access the 4 screws from underneath because the top doesn't have any screw holes. It's just a scale engine, so you'll have to remove the screws from underneath to get to it. And the next thing I'm going to do is just remove the servo, and we'll be right back. Now all of this is removed, and I can put what I really want in there. Now before I do that, I'm going to remove the interior, and to remove the interior you'll need to access 4 screws on the inside. Alright, I've got the interior painted and mounted back into the cage, so I'm ready to put in a new servo. For that I'm going to be using the Army RC Katana 500, a 500 ounce servo. I really like these servos a lot, and I'll put a link to this in the description below, but we'll go ahead and install this right now. Alright, and there we got the servo in. Just need to put my FlySky receiver in the box. Of course I haven't done the binding yet, but I will later. But for now, let's go ahead and plug in where this should be. Channel 1 for steering. Alright, so I'm just going to stuff this in here for now. Still have to do the ESC. Alright. We'll just stuff it in there for now and clean it up later. Okay. Alright, now we are ready to, I believe, put the skid back onto the rig. So, and I'll figure out the wiring for everything a little later. Alright, so you can kind of see how the motor sits. It's like forward biased now. Right there. And there's no chance it's going to hit during suspension cycle. I mean, this is way more than the shocks would let you hit. So there's plenty of clearance. And I'm gonna be, well, you know what, I might tilt the motor a little bit so the wires come out at the side more. Maybe, yeah, I might tilt it so it comes underneath the battery tray there. That looks like it might work. But yeah, all I need to do is put the drive shafts on. And I think this is gonna be a good stopping point right now. Mainly I just wanted to replace the electronics. So I've got the Hobbywing Fusion SE there. I still don't know how I'm going to wire everything up yet. I'm probably going to create my own battery tray because I use a shorty pack, so I might use something that could sit way in front here. And if I do that, that will actually give me even more front weight bias. So that's something I'll kind of take a look into. My receiver right here, I'll put it, you know, after I bind it and everything, I'll kind of button this up here. The servo right here, used an Army RC 500 ounce servo. So I think we are good for now, and that's about it, which is basically replacing the electronics as well as the transmission. Once again, I am using a tiny nod transmission or no overdrive transmission that uses 48 pitch pinion gears. But see how tiny that is? That is really small. It gives me a lot of room here. Takes away a lot of bulk and weight that would have sat right here. Lets me move the motor to a front bias position. So I think we are looking good overall. So stay tuned. So thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe and hit that notification bell for future updates on this Axial Wraith 1.9 build. Thanks for watching.